Howitzer.
Right.
Howitzer versus Greystone, I would say that's even more of a one-sided matchup over if you put that Howitzer in the safe lane, you put your Rampage and your Twin Blast in the mid. So, to be honest, after saying that, I expect Rampage and Twin Blast to go into the mid lane to make themselves have that really great early game presence and that just advantage in the laning phase.
But that being said, we haven't seen Carbon EU do that this tournament. We've seen Oxygen go to the mid lane.
Yep.
So we may still see the traditional setup. We're going to see Rampage and Twin Blast in the safe lane while we see Murdoch and Decker for Team Oxygen in the mid lane. But Shane, there's only one way to find out.
Oh, is
and
there?
that's to get in this game.
Oh, boy.
So let's friggin' do it.
We're loading up right there, Notch. So, the Greystone being picked up last. Greystone doesn't really come online to level 5, Notch. What are Greystone's strengths? I mean, obviously, post level 5, he can just run into a team fight. But why would you pick a Greystone over a Feng Miao? We've only seen Feng Miao on Ram Riddles once this time, a hero that we saw him excel a great deal amount. Why do you think it was a Greystone over a Feng Miao here? I personally would have liked to see the Feng Miao.
I would have liked to see the Feng Miao. I think it's for the front line. You look at the front line of Carbon with Shadon on Rampage and Blood Mortius, who builds kind of tanky towards the end, is a really strong front line. It gives them more team fight potential. It allows him to be in the thick of it. It also allows him to bully or jump in the back line and deal with Undead Pilot, which was basically allowed to free cast the entire last game. So this is probably so he can get in that back line, take some shots, especially with the way Undead Pilot builds, building that crit early game. I think it's going to be to deal with Twin Blast, and we're not going to see such an emphasis on Ram Riddles with that split push.
You can't hear me. Guys, let's do it. Let's get into this game right here, right now. Game number 2 of the finals of Paragon Competitive League. Number 3 in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Liftoff. Carbon EU are looking to get themselves the frequently eluding championship title, that title belt, which they have gotten so close to so many times. Last time around in PCL2, it was Oxygen and A who got second place, and they want it just as badly. Nonetheless, we're going to be crowning a new king. Let's introduce these guys. Rustress on Kwong, Blood Mortius on Grux for the second time in a row. There's that support Rampage as expected. Shadow playing Rampage. Yo and Mikey on Howitzer, and Undead Pilot on Twin Blast.
We've got Arsenic on Gadget, Imsco, the Punisher, rocking the Murdoch, Marty Rivia playing Decker, a guy on Meds on Severog, and Ram Riddles playing Greystone. Shane, throwaway wards have been placed. We're seeing quite a few wards down for protection purposes to make sure you're not getting those early ganks. They run out, they toss those wards down, they back, and then they start building their initial first items. Whether that is going to be... My game just froze. Wait a second. There we go.
It's not a PCL without you crash. You haven't crashed yet. You haven't crashed yet.
It just froze.
Oh, man.
No crash. But we see healer tokens and health pots, Madstone gems. Of course, we're going to see a guy on Meds pick up a Stalker Siphon. Blood Mortius going for a Sage's Siphon. We haven't talked a lot about these early game cards for these junglers. So we're not seeing Rampage in the jungle. So you're not seeing those cards that deal that extra damage. What we're seeing is the cards that give you the passive that gives you health on hit. So we're going to watch a guy on Meds and Blood Mortius. They're going to kite these minions around. They're going to pick up these white camps, and they're going to heal themselves every time they hit a target. Again, a guy on Meds plays. He puts a lot of emphasis on the farm, and we'll see him farming a little bit more than Blood Mortius and looks for early game ganks around the 3-minute mark. He picks up a river buff. We've got a black and blue that are going to be spawning. I expect to see Blood Mortius go for that black buff and look for a potential kill.
Yeah, that blue buff enables that, just that extra little speed boost enables him to get smash and grabs he otherwise would not be able to get. So yeah, the priority there is going to be a big one. Look at this, Notch. It's as if these guys are laning in a way that we're used to seeing here now. It's going to be I was sort of predicting that mid lane support carry, but not the case. It is going to be the traditional support carry and their respective safe lanes. Look at Ram Riddles being a bully, and he's just going to be able to get first blood casually 1v2 pre-level 5 on Greystone. I think that was a great play by Ramriddles, but much more so a miscalculation by Undead Pilot and Shadon.
And he's able to get out cleanly. That's the
Ramriddles we know.
I like.
That's the one we love to see right there. Game number 1, he just felt like he just wasn't there. Game number 2 already has contributed more to this game at minute number 3 than he did the entire duration of game number 1.
And that's what we need to see him do. Get aggressive, stay aggressive, be aggressive,
be aggressive.
And that's exactly what we need to see him do. Blood Mortius picks up this black buff. He's looking for a kill on Arsenic here. I believe he has smash and grab. I don't know if he's going to be able to. He's chasing it down. He wants it. The guy on meds has to be careful, rotating him behind there. And a guy on meds, Blood Mortius settles for a guy on meds. Smash and grab is going to land. Look at the damage coming out of Blood Mortius right now because of that black buff. A guy on meds is very low. R2000 from Yo, I'm Mikey.
Hey!
Secure that kill. And Blood Mortius is going to deny.
I think you're like a second or two ahead, my man.
No!
Or your play-by-play. I'm sorry, you're a second or two behind. Or your play-by-play is way behind. But nonetheless.
It's because of the freeze. It's because of the freeze.
Ah, because you freeze. All right, my man. We're at 4 minutes now. Yo, Mikey's in some trouble. He has not enough mana to use this knockout mine. Look at Ramriddles, level 3 Greystone. How often do you see him rotate? You're not level 5. It's not yet time to dive. But Ramriddles says, nay, Shane, I'm going to show you what's up. And I'm totally okay with that. But the boulder, or the smash and grab rather from Blood Mortius is going to get the reprisal kill out of that. Still, Ramriddle's playing much more active on the map than we have seen him almost ever. And it's with a Greystone pre-level 5.
Yeah, it's a much better. Again, I didn't think he was going to split push last time. The split push really hurt them. Raptor's already coming into play for Undead Pilot, though, Shane.
Yeah, this is very early. I like this. I really, really, really like this. I mean, sure, okay, well, not only are they getting Raptors, they got the off lane as well. So they're just, or they lost their off lane, rather. So giving up the off lane tower for Raptors, not the worst thing in the world. We talked about almost ad nauseum how losing your off lane doesn't grant you that much map control. If anything, it actually at times can be doing a favor to your enemy opponent. The one thing it does allow is for you to switch up your lanes and put your move your safe lane and move your ranged carry and your support to another lane and allow your solo player to get that farm a little bit safer than he otherwise would be able to.
Yeah, and that is really what Rustorus is. We've seen Rustorus in the off lane. I mean, he's played Muriel really well in the off lane, but picking up that early game farm, allowing him to farm safely, allowing him to set this lane a little bit earlier and build up and rotate is also beneficial to this hero as well. So we are seeing him, though, he is going to want to just farm up here, I believe, and continue to play this safe. Are we going to see a rotation in the lane switch up from Imsco? Are they going to rotate?
In trouble. Smash and grab is there. He has the storm the gates. And he's going to be okay to seek and destroy to provide a little bit of a snare as well. Yo and Mikey was looking for the knockout mine, but Ramriddles, he jumped right over that. I have to say, Greystone, to jump that far with that heavy armor on, that dude doesn't skip leg day, let's be honest here.
Unlike Rampage.
Yeah.
Scrawny legs.
Who has even smaller legs and no armor, but he can jump from the left lane all the way to the right lane.
So, Shane, we've got a moment of reprieve here, I think. As I say that, teamfight will break out. But I want to look at the early game.
Let's.
Rustorus, Blood Mortius.
Hold that thought, Notch. You talked too soon. Subjugated in the mid lane. Yo, Mike is in trouble. Forced to pop the defensive make it rain, which should give him... Yep, he'll be able to get away. Notch, back to you, quickly.
They're building shit at this point. They've got card power. They're putting... and upgrades are happening. Shane, they're losing a tier 1 tower over here. Shadon and Undead Pilot pushing this tower down. They need the other minions. So there they are. I don't know if they're going to be able to get this down. Ramriddles is going to show up, and we've seen how effective he's been picking on these guys. And that's exactly what he's going to do. He's going to get hit with a boulder here, but he got level 5, Shane.
Level 5, he's got that secondary life online, my man. So he's going to be just okay. 2-1, 21 CS. He has 10 card levels to his name. Compare that to the offlaner for Carbon EU of 8. So this Greystone, man, already ramping up to be a power to deal with. And that's sort of what Greystone does, is he just shows up to fights and goes, hey, I'm here. I'm a big walking symbol of Catch-22. Kill me and your whole team's getting snared. Don't kill me, and I'm cutting them down nonetheless. But the thing about Greystone, the hallmark of a good Greystone player, is knowing when you can be a little bit reckless with him because of his kit, but you have to know when you're going to get full value in team fights to go in there. You can't just move by yourself into a team fight, else you're going to die, and the team's going to be able to kill you twice before your team is able to support you at all. So we'll be keeping a close eye on Ram Riddles as he does this, because we don't see him on Greystone too terribly often. Back in mid lane, it's just it's Gadget versus Howitzer. Now, I mean, it's pretty much a wash at this point. Looking at their CS notch, 29 for Arsenic, Yoi Mikey at 32, 11 to 11. So these guys have been going neck and neck for the duration of this match.
Yeah, Twin Blast. I don't know if he's going to get caught here. Marty Riviera's take over. The Stasis Bomb missed, so Undead Pilot is going to get out. We've talked about this probably too much, but the strength of Fury, Shane, Imsco, and Ram Riddles building early game Madstone gems. It's 90 card power at level 15 and 16.5 attack speed by 15 CXP. That gives you a nice damage curve. It gives you
very much
attack speed. It makes you a
Ram Riddles, or I'm sorry, Rustress is going in there. Pops the Fury of the Heavens. Imsco quickly lays down the trap, though. I thought that was for sure going to be a kill, but Imsco played that very well. Notch, back to what you were saying.
So, we're seeing the strength of those. I just love, and we've talked about this as well, Undead Pilot's builds. He goes for more of this power spike. He's not going for the attack speed. He's going for the crit. He's going for the extra damage. It makes him a big problem in these team engagements because of the damage coming out of it, and people don't expect that crit that early on. And he builds about 32 crit, and then we see him go into immediately sell one of his micro nukes.
Oh, Blood Mortis is in trouble. He got knocked up. The Colossal Blow knocked him even deeper into the Tesla Dome than he ever wanted to be, and he's going to get taken out. A Subjugator or Tether could be the death of Yoi Mikey. Not sure if Guy on Meds has the mana, if it's on cooldown. Boulder underneath the tower. The jump, the long arm of the law is going to secure the kill on the Yoi Mikey, but Guy on Meds goes down. Secured the kill for their carry, though. Absolutely worth it. Imsco picks up a kill, and ultimately it's a 1-for-2 exchange.
Yeah, I mean, the boulder was a great boulder.
That was a nice boulder. I like that boulder.
Yeah, I like that boulder too. Yo and Mikey would have survived, but good long arm of the law from Imsco. We're seeing he's landing them this time around. Yep. Game number 1, he missed about 3 or 4 of those. So we're seeing better gameplay come out of Oxygen NA right now. Ram Riddles being a factor in these engagements when he wasn't before. He's picking up kills. He's being aggressive like we've seen him do. Even against a Rampage, a 2-second stun at level 1. The build of Undead Pilot giving him that extra crit, dealing much more damage than Imsco is this early on. And so we're seeing a much better gameplay out of Oxygen NA. If they can keep this up, they can take this game. But it's Carbon EU. And Carbon EU, Shane, they're no slouch. They come online.
Not at all,
man. These guys are very aggressive. They combo very well with each other. And when they want to kill, they get that kill.
And a lot of that is attributed to Blood Mortius' trumpet play. I think he is the linchpin of Carbon EU's early game strength. He's always setting up kills. He's always rotating to set up kills, or conversely, rotating to protect his team. One thing I want to talk about Undead Pilot specifically with this micro nuke build on Twin Blast. The reason I think we see it on Twin Blast, and I mean, have we seen him on Murdoch? I'm not entirely sure if we've seen it on Murdoch, but I think the reason why this build favors Twin Blast more than any other ranged carry is because of his triple tap. When you have that 32% crit, it builds off of that can register and actually does a significant amount of damage. So I think that's one thing to take into account right there is the micro nuke build. Building in with Twin Blast's kit right there.
Yeah, triple tap. Of course, the
pop. I
think.
Pop.
I just think Undead Pilot's playstyle benefits from it a little bit more than we would see him on Murdoch. He likes the escape. He actually plays his carries a little bit forward in these engagements. If you look at Imsco's positioning, Imsco's definitely in the back line. Undead Pilot's kind of in the middle. Yeah. He's a little bit closer because he likes being a tad bit more aggressive.
Righteous.
He knows when to rotate and pick up those targets. He's not just focusing on damage dealers.
I thought for sure there was a moment that they were thinking about going in, but Undead Pilot has got to be careful. Looks like he is appropriately retreating right there as Imsco and Marty were heading over to the left lane. He'll be okay, though. A little bit of a stalemate. We're 13 minutes in. Raptors, I think they were taken once. I don't think that they've been taken yet again since that first one was taken around minute 4, minute 5. We're at the Baker's Dozen notch. Let's take a look at the builds, take a look at the economics, and, I mean, just a quick glance. It looks like it's a fairly even game so far.
Yeah, I mean, farm-wise, 224 to 260. We've got more kills. We're 3 to 4 when it comes to kills and death right now. If we look at our carries, Imsco at 16, Undead Pilot at 17. I did hear a Make It Rain go down. Arsenic Sticky Bomb is actually going to pick up that kill.
Lol. Talking about card experience, and and Mikey
every
gets to,
time.
The mid lane tier 1 tower is going to be dead to rights here. Well done right there for Carbon and A, getting that very, very important kill onto the howitzer and taking away his defensive zone of the tier 1 tower. Containment fence has gone down. Guy and Meds going after Blood Mortis. Colossal just pretty much trying to juggle him and take him down. Smash grab a guy and Meds to keep him under a tower. It's not going to be enough. Blood Mortis is able to charge away. Shadon is in the enrage form. Does he have a boulder? A mana for a boulder? And is it available? Looks like no. A guy and Meds will be getting away unless Undead Pilot's able to get him. He does! A guy on Meds could have gotten away if he went the right route there, but instead, that little cutback that he did right there, that cutback route was enabled him to run away. Rustress used the Fury of the Heavens ultimate onto Greystone. I do believe Ramrose doesn't have his ultimate, so that was a whiffed opportunity right there. So they Carbon EU, they lose Yo and Mikey, and they bounce back quickly. Blood Mortis got out of a situation I thought he shouldn't have. Guy on Meds makes a small positional mistake, and they feed a kill over to the carry on Undead Pilot's Twin Blast.
Ram Riddles actually did a great little stutter step and missed the tether from Rusterus, and then Rusterus, thinking he landed it, instantly popped his ultimate, and it allowed Ram Riddles to actually escape there. So right after he missed that, Ram Riddles' ultimate did come online. So even if he would have got the kill, I think Ram Riddles' ult popped right in time for him to actually reforge to take effect. But he doesn't get the kill. We're seeing, again, Oxygen NA playing much better this round than we've seen before. But Carbon NA able to pick up some kills there on a guy on Meds out of position. I want to see them get a little bit more aggressive. One thing we've noticed from Ram Riddles, if you allow Ram Riddles to get a lead, he snowballs out of control.
Very much so.
On Fang now. He's the most farmed on the map with 22 card power right now. He's starting to build into a flash fire piston for that attack speed. We are going to see an engagement mid lane here. Shadon is going to get stunned up by Arsenic or by Marty Rivia.
Knockout mine is there, not what they were looking for. It actually gave him more distance than it closed the gap right there from Yo Mikey. Yeah, Ram Riddles seems to be very much so a feast or famine sort of player.
Yes.
When he's on, he's on. Stasis Bomb on Undead Pilot. He's trying to take down Imsco. I don't think he's going to be able to, though. Marty body blocking his attacks there. So it was a 1v1. They're trying to do a little bit of some man fighting there. Quickly got turned around. Arsenic underneath his own tower. Blood Mortis, the smasher grab is going to put the nail in the coffin for that one right there. Ram Riddles to pursue. Subjugate misses. So does the long arm of the law. Blood Mortis continues to be elusive, but not elusive enough. Colossal blow onto Shadon. If he has his ultimate, he should be popping it now. Looks like he doesn't. He's going to leap away, but Ram Riddles is going to go right after him. The slow bubble is going to snare him up as well. Can he keep his ultimate reforged online? Nope, not going to be necessary. Onto the pure from Marty. Keeps him alive. Stasis Bomb. Subjugate. Imsco hitting those auto attacks. Guy in the mid swings the big hammer. And down goes Rustress. Carbon and A are looking so much better in this game number 2 right now, Josh.
They're looking much better this game. Carbon they got a kill, but they paid for that. It was a one for 3 exchange. Blood Mortius took 3 or 4 of those tower shots. I mean, yes, we saw some whiffs there, but Tether landed from Kwong. They're able to pick up those kills. Ram Riddles being level 9, tier 1 tower, really not much of a concern diving that tower there. This allows Oxygen NA to go pick up these Raptors, but Undead Pilot is going to rotate in and get a kill on Guy on Met. So continue the aggression. Knew that's what they were going for because there was one of those, 2 of those up, and they pick up that kill. So really good job from Undead Pilot there, picking up a counter kill, and that's what they need to continue to do. We're seeing Ram Riddles and Undead Pilot and Imscope basically right around the same 23 card power, which Undead Pilot did a really good job prioritizing those Raptors. It gave him a 10 CXP lead by about 32 minutes into the match. We're not seeing that now. Yes, we're only 18 minutes in, but Oxygen NA rotating better, taking better engagements, punishing their team, punishing Carbon EU when they go for an engagement, playing much smarter this time around. But as we rotate into the late game, Shane, it really comes down to one engagement. We've seen teams win matches for the entire time. Organized Confusion did it, and we saw Oxygen end up punishing them because of one engagement. That's something we could possibly see here, because Carbon EU, when they do go for a team fight, when they're organized, I think they're just a little hyped from the last game.
Yeah.
And they're playing more aggressive than they should be right now. I love the aggression out of them, but the aggression is not coming. It's not coordinated. They're kind of all over the map. They're not focusing down the same targets, and they're getting punished for that. So I think once they kind of calm down and we start seeing that focus out of them, one team fight completely changes the flow of this game.
Tier 1 tower did fall. Pretty straightforward push. Only Marty there to defend it. 18.5 minutes into the game, not the biggest deal. We see them sometimes fall even much earlier than that, but still restricting the map control. It's a goal that they have achieved there. The safe lane tower is still alive here for Carbon EU. I want to make sure I nailed it. Purple buff has been picked up by Shadon. Very, very scary when the purple buff is on a rampage here. The warding, though, another thing that Oxygen NA is doing much, much better here, Notch, is warding. The wards, they pretty much have a perimeter set up around their strong side jungle and are in that area of the river. They have one in their weak side, one in their strong side. Just overall, really good warding. Purple buff onto Arsenic. Talked about how that on Rampage can be so very deadly. But can they finish off the kill? Shadon is in the enrage form. Joe and Mikey is going to get that kill with one of the barrages coming out for Make It Rain. Can he get away cleanly? Looks like he's going to be able to. Subjugate on a Shadon. He's going to boulder a wall out of sheer anger right there. The pursuit continues. Can he get any peel from his team? Bloodmore is about to show up, but that stasis bomb right before he was about to drop down connects. Great stasis bomb right there from Marty. Bloodmore is in the thick of it. Containment fence goes down more defensively than anything else, but Restless is in the thick of it. Watch out for the Fury of the Heavens. Guy and Med's taking a lot of damage. Blood Mortis was taken out as well, but it's a 1-for-1 exchange right there. Overall, a 2-for-2. We hear Marty throw out the stasis bomb onto Rusters. Rusters is pretty healthy at this point, but the damage coming out from Imsco is significant. Good tether. Kept Imsco from hitting him, and that is going to be the secured getaway of Rusters. All the meanwhile, Undead Pilot was farming to his heart's content, but at the same time, Imsco was a part of that team fight and picked up some kills.
Yeah, that tether landed both on Ram Riddles and Imsco. This is compare game number 1 to right now when you look at coverage.
Yeah.
The ward coverage for Oxygen NA was all but non-existent. They were giving up Raptor kills pretty early on and not really answering that. Right now, we do see 4 wards over on the side of Oxygen NA. Like you said, they set up a perimeter. Shadon went in. He picked up that kill on Arsenic, but the collapse was just a little bit better in the rotation.
Almost got away, so close.
Yeah, from Oxygen NA there to help pick up another kill. Blood Mortius landed a smash and grab onto 2. There just wasn't much follow-up. Undead Pilot, though, needed the farm. He needed to be over there farming. That's why he didn't rotate. Puts him at a lead now. He's at 30 card power. Imsco's only sitting at 29. He's only 1 off, but it's Undead Pilot was starting to fall behind. So he made the right decision by staying in that lane, relying on his team being able to escape and not dying or losing too many lives. So it was a good call from Undead Pilot to give him that farm he needed. And now they're just going to reset, Shane. Raptors are going to be spawning again. Blood Mortius is already posturing around there. Marty Rivia, Arsenic, and a guy in Meds are rotating, though, because they know they're there, and they know that Carbon EU loves these Raptors.
That's exactly what they're going to be doing. Not committing themselves to it yet. Instead, playing the safe game, playing the patient game, playing the conservative game of dewarding prior to going into it, and recognizing that there's 2 wards right there, not feeling comfortable. Marty Rivia has spotted out Blood Mortius in the jungle, pretty much just scaring him away with his mere presence. Ramriddle's rotating off of there as he has successfully pushed that wave down. Ramriddle's still continues to be the most farmed person on the map, 34. Just shy of him is Undead Pilot at 33. That what was just a 1-point lead is now the 3-point lead, as you just mentioned there, Notch. Amber buff Raptors really are starting to show themselves. Boulder lands onto Guy and Meds. Undead Pilot sent with those autos. Enrage form is a Shadon is in the enrage form. tanking up. Is he going to commit to this engagement? Looks like they're going to think twice about it. And Rage Down, cooldown, it's only the level 1, so it is an 80-second cooldown at level 1. Going to be wild, but look at this Notch. Without hesitation, they're going to go pick up the next Raptor.
Yeah, they're going to give it to Undead Pilot. Again, they prioritize these. We don't see that. If you play in solo queue, if you play in this the non-competitive scene, we don't see Raptors prioritize the way that you see these comp guys doing it. But it's such a good advantage for your carry. If you're behind in kills, if your team is behind in farm and you can safely pick them up, it allows you to take an advantage. It allows you to give yourself a lead. He was even. He's now 4 points ahead of Imsco because of the Raptors. So great play from these guys. He's starting to build into his impact hammer. We'll see him build into a Blade of Agora, I believe, next, because he has the 6 card power to do it. So expect him to sell and micro nuke, pick up a Blade of Agora, and give him that crit chance. We do see another engagement happening.
Oh man, Marty Rivera used the containment fence. It was a little bit too late. Arsenic was not expecting the 3-man invasion into the weak side of the jungle. That's not something you see very often, but that's why that was able to happen. They just simply weren't expecting that. Undead Pilot's got to be careful. Smash and grab onto Ram Riddles to peel away from Undead Pilot as my webcam gets thrown across here. Imsco is in the background doing damage. Blood Mortius gets caught out. Ram Riddles continues to pursue. Yo and Mikey and both Undead Pilot are absolutely killable here. Yo and Mikey's going to blink himself away, showing off actually having to use a blink shot defensively. That's a very long 5-minute cooldown for that. And Ram Riddles looking around. Rushrush has rotated to the fight. And Ram Riddles has to be careful. He has that Reforge online, but the Fury of the Heavens goes right on in there. Subjugate onto 2. Shadow has the Enrage. Immediately going to jump out. Ram Riddles at half HP. Post Reforge. Imsco still alive. Undead Pilot still alive. 1-for-1 exchange. Could have gone either way, but these guys very evenly matched in this game number 2. Game number 1, not so much. With Oxygen Ace stepping up their game. Ram Riddles being much, much more of an impact here. We see that this is 24 minutes in, soon to be 25. It's still unknown as to who is going to take game number 2.
It's such a scary moment when you kill a Greystone because of the slow, because of the damage he deals there. Shadon was low. He actually had to pop his ultimate and leap out. Yo and Mikey's actually going after Ram Riddles, who was being aggressive in the mid lane. Ram Riddles is going to leap away. Yo and Mikey almost picked up that kill. But you look at those engagements, Shane, and they picked up Ram Riddles, and all of a sudden everybody is slowed. You're in this weird situation where if the team would have collapsed, they could have possibly picked up 2 or 3 kills there because of the strength of that slow and the extra damage that Ram Riddle deals as he comes back to his body. So it's one of those weird things. How do you take an engagement knowing the strength of that ultimate, knowing, okay, someone could get hurt here. If we're too low and kill him, we're just going to secure a kill for the enemy team. And it almost happened in that engagement right there.
Raptors once again being picked up here by Undead Pilot. Oxygen in A, they really only ever go after Raptors unless they have a very clear and obvious advantage. Carbon EU, very distinctly different. Let's go pick up some Raptors. Hey, the Raptors are there. Let's go pick them up. Hey, cool, I'm Yo and Mikey. That's what they do. Speaking of Yo and Mikey, he's got to be careful. There's a pending collapse coming. Both Gadget and Severog, guy on meds. Seems like he always has that green buff. Green buffs are so important on your frontliners. Not only because they give you that shield, but another thing that a lot of people tend to forget about Notch is that damage reflection, as well as the explosion when it either runs out, whenever it expires, or it gets bursted down. It's something like 200-ish damage, 300-ish damage. That's quite a bit. Especially as the later game goes on, it's not as significant, but it's still enough to where that can be a difference between Undead Pilot getting away or Undead Pilot living.
Yeah, and I've actually used it to, we've seen other people use it to pick up kills. You dive the tower, you let the tower hit you, and the explosion, the AoE from that explosion can pick up a kill for you, or the enemy team continues to attack you, and someone's close by with low health and it pops off, and you end up picking up a kill. It's a very strong buff, and it's why one of the reasons we actually see it rotate from the jungler early game to where we start seeing Imsco and Undead Pilot pick it up, because it's a great shield to deny them that power, but it's also that burst of energy or burst of damage on Ram Riddles or a guy on meds if they start attacking that back line.
Back animations are cool. You know who has the best back animation in the game right now?
Fang
Mao has the
Oh
best
my
back
God.
animation in the game right now. It's so good. It's so good. Guys, if you don't know about Fang Mao's back animation, go play a game and just do nothing but back. So, don't do that. Do it in a bot game. Blood Mortius and Shadon, the dynamic duo in the mid lane. 4 of them, actually. Just pushing out that wave at this point in time. Only time they get near that river is if they're grouped up very tight like that, very tightly like that. Undead Pilot pretty much by himself in enemy territory. Imskull's going to pop his head out of that fog wall, and Undead Pilot's going to get the hell out of there knowing that for sure the rest of the team is about to show up. Their entire roster of Oxygen North America is on the left side of the map here, and I think that they are going to deward the Raptors. 28 minutes, it is going to spawn, and Carbon EU, they don't have their full force here. This is a 4v5 going into it. Shadow has to be very, very careful. Ramidal's down already to 1 HP, but knowing he's about to get killed, uses the Reforge, but actually he isn't going to be there. Charge into the front lines, looking for Undead Pilot, and he's not going to be able to catch him. Undead Pilot is fully retreating. Off to the sideline, Imsko's trying to take out Shadon because he doesn't have Enrage. Ultimate form is down for him. Here comes Ramriels, doesn't have Reforge, does not matter. Boulder onto Marty, long arm of the law. Looks like it did not connect. If it did connect, it wasn't enough damage. Undead Pilot finally gets taken out. Ramidals might die to the tower. He's so low, he does get away. A 1-for-2 exchange. Don't forget, that was a 4v5. Rustress is just now showing up to the fight. And I want to see Carbon EU push this. Try to catch someone out because Rustress has full-on health, full-on mana. Ramriels is so very low, but I don't know if they're going to be able to. That was a very close fight, despite the fact that it was a 4v5. And honestly, I would have expected Oxygen North America to get more out of that. Imsko may be in trouble. I don't think he knows that Rustress is here. Oh, the juke! I don't know if that was intentional, but it blinks up to the high ground. And now Yoi Mikey, maybe 1 or 2 more auto attacks. Not going to be the case. The boulder, the tether, the right mouse button, the auto attack. There it is. Imsko gets punished.
Shane, we're 29 minutes into the game,
Hello.
and both of the Tier 1 towers are still up in the safe lanes for these teams. We're finally going to see Imsko fall there, but they've been the split push. The reason I'm bringing that up is because Ramriddle's focus is so heavily on the split push, and he has not been doing that this game. He's been a major factor in every single one of these team fights, and it's actually helping Oxygen.
Very much so.
When he was not there, we saw them get bullied by Carbon AU, and that is not the case right now. So Ramriddle's fixed whatever issue was happening in the last game, and he's come back. He's being more of a factor, more of a component in his team, and it's really starting to help Oxygen NA. While we have a second Undead Pilot, 46 card power, Imsko, 40 card power. We've got Rusterus at 36. Compare that to a guy on meds at 35. Blood Mortius 34. Ramriddle's at 43. Blood Mortius is a little bit behind, comparing him to a guy on meds, the other jungle. I'm sorry, as a jungler, watching Blood Mortius, he's behind comparing him to his play style overall. He's been picked up 5 times. He's put himself in a position to pick up these team fights or set up an engagement, but he just hasn't had the follow-up. And it's put him behind because he is very aggressive. While a guy on meds, normal play style, I mean, this is what we see from a guy on meds. He emphasizes the farm, but he's not about these early game the early to mid game engagements. It's more of helping his team.
He's going to land on a Rustress, but Ramriddles has to be careful. You don't want to just use that Reforge, but Rustress gets punished right there. That Subjugate lands, and there's the Unstoppable. I got to assume that's Ramriddles 6-1-2. On this Greystone. Shadon thankfully has that purple buff, else Ramriddles would be chopping him down with that sword right there. Good Subjugate. If it wasn't for that Subjugate, Rustress more than likely would be alive right here. Subjugate misses. Immediately pops in rage. He's going to be able to get the hell out of there. They drop the ward and we're like, there's a Rampage right here. And he'll have that ultimate up here in 60 seconds. That level 9, level 2 makes it 80 into 60. And of course, level 13 goes from 60 to 40. A lot going down in mid lane. Imsko's not farming. Undead Pilot is. He's going to back away before there's a rotation. He's going to continue to build an economic lead. Now 10-point difference between Undead Pilot and Imsko here.
So, a guy on meds with that Subjugate there, that's what I was talking about. He's a good front liner. His build is very... he's not focused on the damage. As we see other junglers do, they come in, they focus a little bit on damage early game. A guy on meds does not. He focuses on resistance. He focuses on health. He wants to be a body in these team fights. He wants to be able to peel for his backline. So Blood Mortius goes in, tries to pick up those kills. A guy on meds comes in. He's trying to defend. He's trying to land subjugates. He's trying to body block for his team.
He is trying to body. He's trying to body people.
He is trying to body. And a guy on meds is actually doing a really good job. These subjugates has saved Imsco a few times. They saved Arsenic and Marty a few times. So he's playing his position really, really well. Not this hyper-aggressive jungler we're used to seeing out of, let's say, Jay Lee or Blood Mortius, but a very defensive jungler, and it works really well for this team. And of course, again, I'm going to say it again because it's so important, having Ram Riddles in these engagements.
Ram Riddles might be in a little bit of trouble here. He's been caught out. A lot of CC has been used to try to catch him out. He's so tanky, and they still haven't been able to kill him a single time. And he gets away from a tether, a smash and grab, the stun from Warlord's challenge, and didn't even pop the Reforge there. As well as what helps significantly is his team peeling for him. Shadow pops the Enrage. He's looking for a boulder. But the defensive retreat coming out from Oxygen in North America, they're going to be able to get out of this cleanly, at least for the time being. Rustress looking once again for Guy on meds, thinking twice about it. Blood Mortius is near the Amber Link, chopping it down to see what he can get. Good stutter step right there by Blood Mortius, but immediately, without hesitation, the Colossal Blow is there. There's the Tesla Dome. There's the Containment Fence. Guy on meds is taking a lot of damage. Blood Mortius to fall, but Guy on meds continues to pursue and look for Rustress, and that should be 2 kills picked up. The tether, can Rustress get away with that tether? Very well done. But all the meanwhile, Undead Pilot was doing the Orb Prime and picked it up. So that's a big, huge activation right there. No Grux on the field, but with the Prime card activated, that's a massive power spike. Shadon, he's going to get taken out. So effectively, 3 team members of Carbon EU are going to have the Prime cards activated with 55 seconds without Rampage, 35 seconds without Grux. This is a moment that Oxygen North America has, and they have to capitalize on this notch. If they don't, they're going to find themselves in a very, very poor position going up against a team down card experience, not only down card experience on the carry, but more importantly, the Prime card activated on their opponent's carry.
Yeah, I mean, I think there was a little bit of undecisiveness coming out of Shadon there before the Orb Prime happened. He couldn't decide, do we go for a Guy on meds or we go and try and pick up Imsco? And we saw him kind of stutter step there, and it allowed the team to separate. So there's a little bit of disconnect coming out of Carbon EU. They do pick up the Orb Prime, and they do have people down, but it's 2 minutes. 2 minutes is a long time. They're going to have about 1 minute and 20 seconds with this Orb Prime activated to make a play here. So expect them to set their lanes and push out one of these off-lane towers.
I think that's exactly what they need to do. Set 2 lanes, go to another, see what they can do. Now Purple, send an Undead Pilot to the Shadow Plane, looking at the wardage for, and he just immediately doesn't use it. Picks up green instead. I actually like that. The green gives him more value in terms of team fighting capabilities than Purple ever does. Oxygen and A are tightly grouped up underneath the tier 2 tower of their mid lane. Right lane set against them. Left lane set against them as well. Not yet pushing. Subjugate to fly. Not going to land on anyone. Also blowing cooldown as well. Tier 2 tower to fall before we can even blink our eye. Tether on Marty. He's got to be careful. The damage is going to go down. Can they keep him alive? Though he gets bursted down. Tesla Dome has been used as well. Tesla Dome is down. That right there, we talked about it before. Tesla Dome is a massive team fighting tool, and they're not going to have it for this push. This inhibitor, I think, is sure to fall, but the question I'm asking myself is, can Oxygen North America keep their core alive here? Yoi Mikey still has Make It Rain. Shadon still has Enrage. Blood Mortius is just all about the smash and grab. Make It Rain to go down, to use that zoning tool. Ramrill's going to get knocked up. Reforge should be procced up here. They have to peel for him. Guy on meds is looming. He's waiting for his moment to go in. He's going to move forward. Colossus Blow queued up, electing not to use it. Ramrill getting focused down. The double smash and grab onto 2, and he gets dropped down. Blood. The R2000 rocket from Yoi Mikey. Blood Mortius gets taken out, but he did his job. Ramriddles is dead. A Guy in med being forced to back. Undead Pilot still healthy. Imsco's the only one standing right here with anything to do. The boulder! Shadon! Nothing but that from half court right there. Takes some out. The lazy back from Guy on meds. You gotta respect the Rampage. I didn't know EU were so good at playing basketball, but damn if that wasn't one of the best boulders we've seen this weekend. And the mid inhibitor is going to fall. Right lane's pushing for him. Long arm of the law. I don't know if it's connected or not, or if it just simply did not have the damage. Nonetheless, it does not net a kill. And mid inhibitor down notch. Carbon EU are in phenomenal spot and moving to the Raptors.
Just one solid engagement coming out of Carbon EU. They hesitated for a moment. They pick up the Orb Prime. They make a great push down the mid lane. They found their targets. They picked off Marty very early in the engagement. Ramriddles jumped in it. They picked him off, turned around and pick up on the Guy on meds. The big thing is they've got the inhibitor. They pick up the Raptors. They're gonna back. They're gonna purchase.
Here's the thing. Sorry, Notch, I have to say this. Here's the thing about Guy Med's backing right there. It actually would have been quicker for him to walk back to his core and get back to the inhibitor than it was for him to back. It's quicker. If you're inside your inhibitors, it takes less time to just walk there than it does to allow your back to cast. Just pointing that out. Guy Metz could have lived right there.
but it looks pretty.
It does. It's a cool animation.
But it looks pretty. Fang Mouse is the best. I think we've already covered this.
Yes, we've already. This is a foregone conclusion. Fang Mouse is the best.
Undead Pilot sitting at 60 card power, a 10 card power lead over Imsco. Shane, this doesn't happen. Imsco is the PvE farming god.
Yeah.
And Undead Pilot is like, meh. He's at 250 creep score compared to Imsco's 204. 3-2-3. But the Raptors, the strength and the importance of Raptors is what put Undead Pilot in the lead.
Here we go, guys. Orb Prime has fallen off, but that isn't going to take any momentum off of him. Guy and Meds get stunned up. The tether is there. It's going to be a Fury from the heavens. He goes in. He's under the tower. He's tanking the tower. He gets knocked up. Containment fence. And the Tesla Dome's being used only on Blood Mortis. This is strictly defensive. You can tell that right now, Oxygen North America are in full-on panic mode. They're in survival mode. They're trying to do what they can. Boulder on a Ram Rails. Not enough to pop the Reforge, but that grenade from Undead Pilot is. So only one life available for Greystone right here. The Siege Wave continues to push down. They're going to clear up that wave. Siege down inhibitor. Mid lane is going to be threatening the court here in just a moment. So Oxygen and A are up against the ropes. They might get knocked out. Rustress is taking the tower very low. He's going to be able to get away. They shuffle the aggro. If they smash and grab, doesn't land for Blood Mortis. Subjugate to not fall. The knockoff for Ramros. He's going to be able to storm the gates and get the hell out of a bad situation. Yo, and Mikey, very stasis bomb onto him. Potential turnaround here from America. Imsco goes in there. Shoots him right in the face with the buckshot. Boulder doesn't land. Subjugate on Blood Mortis, and 2 go down for Carbon EU. This game, back and forth exchange right here. Imsco and Marty potentially looking for more. Stasis bomb connects on Undead Pilot. Where's Imsco? Where's the long arm of the law? A miscommunication. Undead Pilot's gonna turn around. Oh, but here's Imsco. He's looking for the buckshot. Undead Pilot has the lifesteal. They're duking it out. Marty can't get close. Undead Pilot's trying to do 1v2 right here. Yeah, but he's not gonna be able to turn that corner. He's afraid to. Shadon, he's moving up through the jungle. He has the purple buff. I don't know if they know about this. They do now because the stasis bomb hit him. Rustress gets taken out by a guy in meds. Boulder on Imsco. A couple auto attacks might get it. The move along is there. He doesn't have the jump to secure the distance and secure the kill. The creep body blocking him as well. Undead Pilot was going to back. He has the lifesteal. He has the sustain. They're going to try to continue to push this despite the fact that it's a 2v5 situation. That was so very close, but ultimately Carbon and A does come out on top there. But what can they do off the heels of this, Notch?
Shane.
Hello.
Oxygen has to regroup. A guy on meds. I'm sorry. Yeah, no, Oxygen has to regroup. They have to back up. They almost got 2v1 by Undead Pilot, by the way. Imsco, the Punisher, Marty, who we've considered one of the best supports in the game, almost got 2v1 by Undead Pilot. If it wasn't for those minions body blocking,
so close,
and the move along, he would have died. Of course, Rustress did get picked up by Ram Riddles, but regroup, reset your lanes because towers are pushing into them. Reset your lanes, and then I would say make a slow push in the off lane and allow the mid lane to push because it's going to come to a point where someone's going to have to peel off and deal with that because super minions that were stronger than before, are now
It's been a while since you've said that.
I know. I'm so glad I did it. Minions that were stronger than before are now going to be attacking the court. So set the offside, the mid lane, set one of the outside lanes, and then slow push and apply the pressure that way. Don't look for a team engagement because death timers are so long.
Oh, so long.
If they botch a team fight, it's game over.
We're at the state. Look at Yo and Mikey. He actually transitioned into. We've seen him go with the Hydra Burster, Meltdown, so on and so forth. But he's actually picked up a cast converter for himself. That's interesting. That's a card we don't see very often. The only time we've seen it was when Richter was being played by Louis of Rat Pack. Picked that up very early. What do you think the thought is behind this here? I mean, it's sort of counterintuitive to use that because the Hydroverser, you want mana. Cast Converter takes the mana away. It gives you a little bit of regen there. But normally we've seen Infinite Stream over that. We'll have to see how it plays out. Maybe ask him in a post-game after the tournament to see what he thought about that. Guy on meds leading the charge. Immediately the challenge of the Warlord has been popped. Restress is swinging his sword, trying to do what he can, but he might be caught out. All 4 of Carbon, of Oxygen in A have been isolated here. Shadow's got to be very, very trouble. He's in the enraged form. Can he continue to keep himself alive? The Tesla Dome plus the containment fence is doing so much damage, but it's not going to be enough damage. No one goes down. Two very important ultimates have been popped to the containment fence and the Tesla Dome. The enraged for Shadon's only a 40-second, or right now it's a 60-second cooldown. Not quite yet level 13. So there's a small window where those ultimates all up. Ultimately, though, no one goes down, and if I'm Carbon EU, I'm saying, you know what, we got super minions, let that push, let's fall back, stabilize, and try to find another opportunity.
We've got super minions, and we've got the Orb Prime.
Yeah.
We've got the Orb Prime as well. This is just that moment that they need. Slow push, set a lane, pick a lane, find a lane, and everybody go there. They have such an advantage right now when it comes to card power, when it comes to the Orb Prime being activated. Archmagus is activated on them, plus the Centurion. They've got such a strong front line. We're seeing Shadon really play this hero very well, being a huge hindrance, landing boulders onto the back line, making sure he's shutting down the support. And that's what I want to continue. Are they going for the back door, Shane?
They were thinking about it. I don't know. There's a ward there. They know about it. Marty and Guy and Meds are hanging out in the area. They're going to spot it out. The ward is there. But I don't know. Imsco might be caught out here. Blood Mortius and Rustress were hanging out. They're sort of in an awkward position. Subjugate's going to land. Yo and Mikey's going to hit him right in the face. Shadon pops the enrage. They're going to go for the game. This might be it. This might be the championship. Paragon Competitive League. There has not been an EU team who's won it in over 9 months. Can they do it? The EU, Carbon EU, they get it. They take the game. They take the series. They take the money. They take the prize. They take the bragging rights. Congratulations to Carbon EU, just like that. Outthinking, outmoving, outrotating, outplaying, and now got a little bit more money in their wallets. Congratulations. Wonderfully done. That, even though that was a 2-0, those were incredible displays of what these players, of how these players are playing right now, man.
What? They just backdoored it. They just said, meh. We've got 60 card power. We've got the Orb Prime. We see Imsco's out of position because we've got a ward there. We know they don't have everybody to defend. They come in and they end it. Shadon on Rampage played really, really, really well. Yo Mikey's gameplay on Howitzer, some of the best Howitzer / mid lane caster gameplay we have ever seen. An Undead Pilot putting on such a good performance. An EU team just beat an NA team. Who cares about ping,
this
guys?
Is the second
Carbon
time.
EU.
This is only the second time an EU team has taken one of our events in almost a year. 2 of what,
Yeah.
like 15?
Yeah. But if a team was going to do it, it was going to be Carbon EU. Guys are playing out of their mind. They play so well. Frick! What a good call. I like that they went for the back door. I like that they didn't slow push. I like to just go for the throat. And
Let's
let's
all
get
in
this
it, boys.
game over.
We have the royal flush. Let's go ahead and pop, all in it right there, and that's exactly what they did. Notch, before we close out the show, man, final thoughts about the games, the tournaments, and everything else. And what are you about to say?
Narender, I just looked at the Discord. Narender said, by the way, another Notch and Shane Lynch, Undead Pilot won Agora Rising 2 back in the day with Baylife. Interesting little.
They are the only other team. They are the only other team, EU team. We had our EU events, of course. The EU team won that. Our non-EU events, they're the Undead Pilot is the he's the reigning EU. He's been on both rosters. Baylife, man, that was a long time ago. That was a long time ago, man.
Shane, final thoughts for this event. Organized Confusion was a standout team for me. They've got some things they have to work on. Minion management, not the best. But that being said, they were a standout team, really good performance. Carbon EU still continuing to be strong. They have been a factor in these in the competitive league. They've been their performances in the competitive league has been so impressive. We just saw them take a win here. And Oxygen NA, we've got some old names, we've got some returning faces for this team, and they played really, really well, but they just couldn't deal with the aggressive play style coming out of Carbon EU. So congratulations to them. It's been a lot of fun. Man.
What's the Matcherino at? What did we end with at the Matcherino, my man? We're at 340 last we checked? 340 big ones?
Let's take a look. 345.
Awesome.
345 for the Matcherino. So thank you to the community for providing that prize money to them. Thank you for continuing to support the Paragon Competitive League. We appreciate it so much. Shane, get us out of here, buddy.
Ladies and gentlemen, yet again, here we are, closing out another event. Not Agora's Rising, not Agora's Solstice, not Agora's EU, but the Paragon Competitive League is what we are now. Thank you so much for the support, the viewers, the players. Shout out to our admins, Nairnder and iFurless. Of course, my brother from another mother, twitch.tv/another notch. He's handsome. He's got the beard of the gods. Man, can he break down these games and break down these team fights. I'm Shane Lynch. You can catch me on Twitter. You can catch me on my stream. But I hope to see you guys there. But more importantly, I hope to see you guys at the next Paragon Competitive League, which will be announced later this week. Thank you for all the support. That's it. Congratulations to Carbon EU. You have the bragging rights for the next 2 weeks for the Paragon Competitive League champions. That's it, and we'll see you next time, guys.